Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody is having a great day. I know some people might be sleeping in this morning as they probably have maybe the whole weekend off for the 4th of July. With that being said, I got an interesting video to talk about today. It's kind of a mix of things. Only because if you've been watching crypto markets overseas and silver markets last night, stuff's kind of looking interesting. You guys know that I tend to stay, most of you guys know, I film my videos late at night. And tonight or last night was no different, as I was staying up late, first to see some fireworks and then just to stay up and see what was going on overseas with silver, gold, cryptos. Oh my word, are cryptos getting hammered today. You know, it's kind of funny because earlier in the day yesterday, I had gotten an article basically saying how the Bitcoin is going to really do well as the dollar collapses. And I've said time and time again, I think pretty much when a currency, a fiat currency, a paper currency of any country collapses, the people in that country that are invested in that currency are going to lose a lot of money. Whether that be Americans investing in dollars, if the dollar was to collapse and you're heavily invested in dollars, you're going to take a big hit. However, if you're invested in other assets, then your other assets will be probably going up at a faster rate. And so that was basically what the article kind of was saying about Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden you start watching Bitcoin start slipping. All day yesterday, Bitcoin was slipping until late at night, and then it just plunged. I mean, to a point to where if you just look at the last 30 days of Bitcoin, it's down 25%. Now think about that for a minute. 25% of your net worth getting washed away in a month. Literally. I mean, that puts you on being tracked for being broke in 4 months. Now, we've talked about why I prefer gold and silver over cryptos, but I, have gambled, and I call it gambling, on cryptos. And I've done relatively well. I was actually just looking because early in the day yesterday, I had actually put a little bit of money in there and then ended up seeing the crypto markets take another 15% hit late last night, specifically the one I put into. And then I watched Bitcoin take a 10% hit. And I said, wow. And I thought I was doing good because I was like, after it just took a big hit, I said, if I get in now, I could maybe get a little bit of the bounce money. Nope, it got washed away too. But that's okay. I laugh about it because I understand that it is gambling. And for people that gamble, maybe you go to the casino and you play slot machines, you're willing to throw a little bit of money into the cryptocurrency and essentially gamble. Now, I know some people say, oh, it's going to come back. It's going to come back. It's easy to say anything is going to come back at some point in time. And I believe that. I really do. I believe Bitcoin will come back. I believe Shiba Inu and Dogecoin and all them will come back. But here's the thing. How much of a missed opportunity did you have in that time period while you were waiting? Some people don't realize that during the Great Depression and stocks plunged, you had to wait 25 years before you got your money back, before you were made whole again. Well, what happened in those 25 years? I mean, there was opportunity for you to be buying gold, silver for those 25 years. Now, granted, I know someone out there saying, oh no, they made it illegal to buy gold. And you're right, they did. However, people were still buying it. They didn't make it illegal for you to go buy a gold ring or a gold necklace. They basically wanted all the Fed's gold, essentially. They wanted all the U.S. gold brought in-house. They wanted you to take paper currency and then essentially leave you left holding paper as they could devalue it and water it down. So it comes down to a missed opportunity. And a lot of people, I believe, are going to be holding cryptocurrencies as it falls and as it plunges. Me, I'm in and out all the time on certain cryptos, but it's money that I'm prepared that I know that I could lose. And it's such a small fraction of my investments that it's worth it to me. It's something I enjoy hoping to hit. And some days I do hit and some days I don't. So with that being said, I want people to understand the difference between gold and silver and almost all other debt-based assets. You know, when you're holding crypto coins, it's a great technology. I've said it time and time again, but it's the blockchain that I like. And all these different coins really have nothing different than another coin for the most part. Are there coins, someone might say, well, there are some coins that invest in this or some coins that invest in that. And yeah, I agree. There are some coins out there that are trying to use the technology to build a whole new platform. But when it comes to gold and silver, there is no other thing. It's the gold and the silver. If you literally are holding the gold or the silver in your presence, then you essentially have the money. Because here's the thing, money is supposed to be a store of wealth. You're supposed to be able to go to work, make some money, and then essentially hold that. And if you want to save it until you're old, and can't work at all and can't do anything, and then start using your money, well, that's what money was meant to be. Money was meant to be a way to save some money for down the road. But today, you know, a lot of people think, oh, I don't need the savings because I've got a Social Security. You're putting all your trust in Uncle Sam. What happens if Social Security ain't there by the time you go to claim it? And I'm not convinced it will be. By the time I go to collect Social Security, there won't be any Social Security, I don't think. My retirement will be in the form of precious metals. And a lot of people just don't understand. The gold and silver is the money. And more people are waking up to it, but it's mostly people in other countries. People in the U.S. are still naive to it. Why do you think that when you go to these other countries and you talk to people, because I talk to people from all over the world because of YouTube, essentially. People send me emails, people leave me comments, and a lot of the time I hear people say, oh, I live in this country and you know, I can't find silver like you guys. You guys are lucky. You have the opportunity to buy silver at low premiums compared to some of these other places. And you have opportunities to essentially, for the most states, not all states, buy your precious metals without a heavy VAT tax or VAT tax. They don't track it for the most part like they do in some other countries where you have to pay money every year that you hold silver, which is pretty insane to me because I've wondered, well, how do they know you hold it? But they know because if you go buy it, it's usually registered and it's registered to someone. And somebody out there, if they're selling it, they want to get it out of their name. They don't want to be paying that tax every year on it. So they're quick to re-register it over to you. But there's a small portion of precious metals that's out there in those countries, I believe, that essentially they're unknown, I guess you can say. Somebody has them tucked away. Now, can they go and sell a huge amount without questions? Probably not. But could they sell a couple of coins, a couple silver coins, without a whole lot of questions? They probably could. But see, here's the thing. Here in the United States, we don't even have to really worry about that right now. Because we don't have, a lot of states don't have a tax when you go and buy a ounce of silver. I mean, yeah, I suppose if you're selling a huge amount, if you're selling $10,000 worth or you're buying $10,000 worth, then there's going to be questions. But for the most part, I don't think many people are actually going out there and buying $10,000 worth in one lump sum. But we have the opportunity, and that's why, because a lot of people just don't understand it. There's not a lot of people that are buying it. It's mostly politicians, it's mostly elites, and a handful of basically stackers or YouTube channels or people that have been following YouTube. You know, yeah, people have it in forms of jewelry. People have it in forms of maybe some old coins that they got passed down from their family. They don't even really fully realize what they have. When I talk to some of these people, it amazes me what they have and how lucky they are to have it, and they have no clue about it. I've literally talked to people that have literally a bag like this of old half dollars that got handed down to them by a family member. and never really got taught about it, never got told about why they were holding all that change. Now, the sad part of that is some of them people actually get that and they just take it to the Coinstar at the grocery store and just dump it in the machine, which really scares me. And that's why I think it's important that people have to talk. They should have talks with their family members about their coins and stuff, and let them know what they got and why they got it. Because the truth of the matter is we're seeing gold and silver continue to climb higher and higher. As you can see, yesterday on the 3rd, I got to think here, that would have been Wednesday. On Wednesday, we seen silver and gold both have big jumps. We saw silver go up almost really a whole dollar between day trading and night trading. And then on top of that, you had gold go up another $30. Now, fast forward, today's the 4th of July. For me filming this, we're just finishing up the 4th of July. So here in the U.S., we didn't have the trading, but they had trading for overseas markets. And you've got silver trading up another 20 cents. So, and I've said time and time again, I thought that 28.50 was my low, what I expected to see the low. We saw it go down to 28.70, and we're already seeing it climb back up because as of right now, filming this video, we're at $30.60. And I foresee that we're going to see, and some people said, man, you're pretty bullish. If you think we're going to be back at the all-time, or back at the 11-year high, which was 32.40, this month, that's pretty insane. I think we're going to continue to see some movement. I think that as the Fed meeting gets closer, we're going to see some more interesting stuff take place. We can expect to see the Fed meeting at the end of July. And I think silver and gold are looking like great investments still, even at the price that they're at. Now, I have had people ask me, close friends that really know my buys and what I'm buying when I'm buying it. Well, hold on a minute. Why aren't you buying everything you can right now then? And the reason I'm not is because right now I am at a point where I am not, for those of you that know how I buy my silver, you know that I tend to sometimes buy and not have to pay it for a month out. Why is that? Because I do use credit cards in some cases to buy, especially if I can get the right deals or the right trades. Now, the right deals being I'm not going to pay a high premium, even if I'm paying with a credit card. But there are people and there are ways that you can buy without paying those high premiums. Now, are they really high though? I'm going to have someone will ask that. That's not high. $31 with a $3 premium. You're still talking $34. That's not high. And in the grand scheme of things, down the road, it's not going to matter. It's not going to be high. I mean, I believe, which I do, we'll easily see $33 silver by the end of the month, then what would it matter if I can buy it now at $33, $34? You know, I'll easily be able to get that back for it at the end of the month if I wanted to sell it. I don't plan on selling. I plan on holding, but I still have to be prepared when the right deals pop up, because every now and then the right deals do pop up. Just the other day, and I haven't opened it yet. I've been meaning to open it. Those of you guys that have been following the channel for a while, you guys know I am infamous for sometimes holding packages without opening them. I got this package here. It's not because I'm just, I didn't want to open it. It's because I want to open it in a video. And I usually use the package openings for days that I don't really have anything at all to talk about. So it will sit right here on my desk. But this was a prime example. This was a blowout sale on Friday of last week. And it was a sale where they were selling them at spot price. But I could only get 12 coins. So, you know, some people might be like, you ain't going to get rich with 12 coins. And you're right, you're not. However, 12 coins at a time makes a big difference. I started my stack with one coin, 1 ounce of silver that somebody gave me. And that was it. And I asked the guy, I said, oh man, that's cool. Will you sell me more? He goes, nope. If you want more, you got to go to San Antonio and get them. And at the time, since there's not really many coin shops near me, there's not many coin shops in Eagleford, Texas, I guess you can call it. Basically shell country. I was jumping around in the oil rigs, working for the oil companies. And essentially, you know, there wasn't many coin shops in little towns that have 2 or 3 stores in it. So he would go and he would buy some and he kept stacking. And then he got me into it, and then I got into it hardcore. I started looking at the math. I started looking what was going on and understanding the money. And over time, I have put a lot of effort into understanding every little thing about the gold and silver markets, the commodity markets, and how the stock market is pretty much rigged. Despite some people will say it's not rigged. It's rigged. It's rigged because of paper shorts. It's rigged because they can implement more silver out there than there really is. Anybody that doubts that only needs to look at the U.S. debt clock, and you'll find out that there's 400 ounces of silver, paper silver, for every 1 ounce of physical silver. That alone is a sign that the markets are rigged. And once you realize that the markets are rigged, then you realize that the price can do whatever it wants until the day that it can't. Because anytime you try to rig something, it's like you're trying to force something that doesn't fit. For example, you're holding the beach ball. You're in a pool, you're holding a beach ball, and you all of a sudden want to pull it underwater and hold it underwater. Well, yes, you can do that. You can't hold it underwater forever. Once you let go of it, what happens to that beach ball? It doesn't just come to the surface. It comes to the surface and it shoots up with a lot of stored up energy. And here's the thing, manipulated silver prices that have been manipulated down for so long is also going to pop up with a lot of energy. And it's going to come in the form of tons of people realizing that the system is coming crashing down around them and everybody's holding money, fiat money, and they're going to look for a way to get to precious metals or that to a safe haven asset. And most of all, the safe haven asset is going to be gold and silver. Now, I think it's no coincidence when you think about it. There's over $30 trillion more in the stock markets and other types of investments than there was in 2020. So think about that. 4 years later, and we've got over $30 trillion more in investments. Well, where did all that money come from? That's essentially people's work, their labor. They go to work all day. A portion of their money gets put in. And some people might be like, man, the portion of your money that goes into a 401k ain't that much. And maybe it's not. But think of it on a grand scale of every person. Think about how much money the government gets from every person each year. And then think of every person putting a little portion of that money that they get into the stock markets. And this is causing it to drive up even higher and higher to a point where even companies now have decided instead of us paying dividends, let's just do share buybacks. And by doing share buybacks, they get to essentially drive the price of their stock up even higher and make it more expensive for other people. So when they go and buy, they have to pay even more for it. A lot of people are going to realize when this wealth transfer takes place, which I believe is coming, we're going to see a crashing of the stock market like we've never seen. I talk to younger kids and they tell me, dude, you don't understand. You can't lose money in the stock market. It's impossible. The truth of the matter is they've never seen it, so they don't understand what's possible. And maybe it will come down and then go back up, but eventually it's going to take a hit because these prices can't sustain themselves. You can't have it where the average working person, you think about all the working people in the U.S., and then they work hard and they can't even buy a house. Is that sustainable? No. Because if there's no way for them to get ahead, they're eventually going to stop working, which means they've got to find a way in the system to bring it down to make it affordable. The easiest way for them to do that is going to be, I believe, crash the crypto markets, crash the stock markets, and just let everything come down in price. And even gold and silver could come down a little bit. But keep in mind, it's only going to come down, in my opinion, for a short time because it's paper contracts that are getting sold off. Physical is going to be bought up as fast as it can because governments are going to be front running all of this, I believe. And they're going to be buying up commodities left and right, as China has already started to do. But a lot of people won't catch on to that until it's too late, and they'll be paying the higher prices. So when I get asked these questions of who in their right mind would buy $50, $60 silver, it'll be those people that didn't want to prepare for what was coming. And now they have no choice. What are you going to do? Hold worthless paper as it's continuing to go down in value? Or are you going to buy what may seem like an overpriced piece of metal, but an overpriced piece of metal that keeps going up? As we see what happens, we're going to see a lot of money pushing in to a very smaller and smaller and smaller set of resources. You'll see a lot of money flow into gold. Then you'll see a lot of money fall into silver. How many people can afford an ounce of gold? Not nearly as many as can afford an ounce of silver. And that's why I believe silver is going to really go up higher and higher. So I thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope you hit the thumbs up button. And I hope you left me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please take a quick minute and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out more than you know. I know the video got off to a little bit of a slow start, but then we got fired up. We got talking about it, hitting a lot of great points and a lot to think about. So thank you all for watching. Hope to see you again on T-Square Talk. Take care, and you all have a great Friday. It's pretty much the weekend, and it's probably the weekend for most of you anyway. So take care, everybody, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.